So you want to grow a gaming channel? Well, you've picked the right time to think about it, because there's this massive window of opportunity opening up, and it's all pointing toward 2026. Today, we're going to break down the strategy you need to understand this moment, get a handle on the audience who has totally changed, by the way, and figure out how you can carve out your own space in what feels like a super crowded field. Let's dive in.
And look, that's not just some random guess. It's a real prediction based on like a perfect storm of stuff brewing in the gaming world right now. The data is clear. Whether you're just starting out or you've been at this for a while, the chance for some serious growth is about to be huge.
And that right there is the big question, isn't it? The potential is massive, for sure, but so is the competition. I mean, even the biggest creators out there are feeling the heat to keep things fresh. So it's not just about starting a channel anymore, it's about having a real game plan to actually win.
So, to help you build that game plan, we've broken this down into 5 key parts. We're going to start with why 2026 is this golden year. Then we'll get into the new gaming audience you have to understand. After that, we get tactical. We're talking about finding your unique voice, the exact video formats that are winning right now, and finally, how to stand out from all the noise.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the big picture. What is it about 2026 that's got everyone so hyped? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a bunch of huge shifts all happening at once.
What's fueling this whole thing is this amazing mix of global hype and local energy. I mean, on one hand, you've got absolute monsters like GTA 6 coming, which is going to create a tidal wave of views all by itself. But what's really cool is that at the same time, we're seeing this explosion of locally made games in huge markets like India, creating brand new trends. Put it all together with a ton of new gamers joining in, and you've got an incredible opportunity.
And listen, this part is so important, especially if you're feeling held back by your setup. You do not need a crazy expensive high-end PC to get in on this. The hype is going to be so big that videos about the games, lore videos, analysis, reaction videos, they can go just as viral as the actual gameplay. The key is just to tap into the conversation. Which brings us to what might be the most critical piece of this entire strategy, the audience. The games are changing, yeah, but the people watching them, they've changed even more. And if you're still making videos for the audience from 3 years ago, you're basically talking to an empty room.
And the shift is really obvious when you look at it. A few years ago, right, you could build a giant channel playing just one game, like PUBG or Free Fire. But today's audience, they're way more sophisticated. They want variety, they want new stories, they just get bored faster. You can actually see it. Channels that are stuck on that one game strategy are already seeing their views drop off.
So what does this new audience actually want? It really just boils down to 2 things. First, good gameplay. Skill still matters, it's kind of the price of admission. But, and this is a big but, that's not enough anymore. They also demand to be entertained. A silent playthrough, no matter how good you are, is a guaranteed way to get someone to click away. The entertainment is what makes them stick around. And this is where you, the creator, get to be the star. That entertainment factor, it comes from your unique voice, from your personality and how you show us the game. It's all about the commentary.
You can pretty much break it down into 3 main styles. First up, you've got the storyteller, the person who can turn any gameplay into this epic narrative. Then you've got the funny commentator, who uses humor and wit to make even a boring part of a game hilarious. And finally, you've got the pro, who mixes that top-level skill with really engaging commentary. You don't have to invent a whole new style, but you do need to figure out which of these camps feels most like you.
And please remember this. Do not just copy whatever's trending. Authenticity is everything. If you try to be the funny guy, but you're not naturally funny, people will feel it a mile away. The winning move is to play games you actually love and talk about them in a way that is genuinely you. That's how you build a real connection. Okay, so you've found your voice. Now what? How do you actually use it? Let's talk about the specific types of videos that are just crushing it right now. At this moment, there are 2 formats that are absolutely dominating. First, you've got challenge videos. Things like speedruns or beating this impossible boss with only a starter weapon. The other big one is playing through story-driven games, where your personality guides us through this amazing plot. Let's dig into why those challenge videos are so powerful. They immediately plant a question in your brain. Can they actually do this? That's the hook. It makes people watch all the way to the end just to see the result, which gives you insane audience retention. And you know what the algorithm loves more than anything? High retention. That's the signal that tells it to show your video to millions more people. And story-driven games work for a really similar reason. The game itself does a ton of the heavy lifting for you.
Viewers get invested in the story and the characters, and they keep coming back for the next episode to find out what happens. Horror games are amazing for this because they add that extra layer of suspense and high-stakes emotion.
All right, we've covered the opportunity, the audience, the content. Now for the last piece of the puzzle, competition. I know it can feel like a huge, scary wall, but with the right mindset, it's actually a doorway. I love this. It just completely reframes the whole problem, right? The gaming space isn't full. It's just waiting for new, interesting voices to come in and claim their little piece of it. Your goal shouldn't be to become the next big YouTuber. It should be to become the first you.
So you really have two main paths to claim that space. Path 1, you match the quality of the absolute best. This means your editing, your commentary, your gameplay, it all has to be top tier. Path 2, which is often a little easier to get started with, is to be unique. This is where you find a weird twist, a new format, or a personality thing that nobody else is doing.
So how do you find that unique thing? Simple, you experiment. It's not gonna just pop into your head on day one. You have to keep trying new stuff. Different games, new ways of talking, new editing styles. Maybe you develop a signature sound effect that becomes your trademark, or a recurring joke. Your unique voice isn't something you start with, it's something you discover along the way.
And really, that's what this all comes down to. The opportunity for 2026 is real. The audience is ready for something new. The winning formats are right there for the taking. Everything is set up. The only question left is the one on your screen right now. What unique space are you gonna claim?